Hello, legends. I hope everyone is well. Please let me know if you can hear me. It feels great to be back with the live stream. Just gonna wait for a couple of people to roll in. Hello, hello, legends. We have a few legends that have popped in. We're looking at 15 people at this point in time. Let's see. Williams World. Hello, we can hear you. Awesome. Hello. All right. So let's kick us off. Supposedly Trump has a speech right now. I'm wondering if this is actually live, but we're getting some reports that he has a speech. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly have his speech playing.
Even vacations will be very liberal in that. We've added two things to it: no men and women's.
Let me know if you
sports,
can
no
hear.
Transgender mutilization of our children. We don't want our it's mutilization of our children, and we don't want that. So we added those two things. That's the 5 points. We have 5 very good points. It polls at 86% with Democrats. Think of that. The overall vote is 86%. With Republicans, it's 98%. And the only one opposed to it is a Democrat leadership because they cheat. They want to cheat. So we added those 2 points. We're going for the gold, and we're going to have to fight like hell. Now, certain things will happen. Certain things will take place. I'm here to do a great job for the country. But we don't have a country if we're going to have elections that are so corrupt and so dishonest like we've witnessed over the last period of time. You know, as an example.
Someone said this looks old, but I'm covering Walter Bloomberg here as well. So we can just go through what's essentially been said. So Trump came out and said that they may stop by Cuba after they're finished with Iran. So this is definitely interesting. I mean, you guys know I'm not a geopolitics expert by any means. I cover it because people want to know what's going on. But for the most part, I just trade the Bitcoin price action. And right now you can see that we're at a very, very interesting level in the market. And that level is right at those previous local highs. You can see that we got a couple of wicks. Okay, I will not say legends many times in this live stream. Some of you were not happy with that last time. But anyways, so right now we're right at the previous local highs, and we're currently right above the anchored VWAP, which was taken from the 97K pivot. So if I zoom out on my chart here, you'll see that from this local top, we managed to drop significantly. And now, if you've been tuning into the channel, my expectation is that Bitcoin will ultimately head lower. Sorry if I don't have as much energy today. I am a little bit under the weather. Canadian weather, what can you do? So basically, now the question is, was this the top? Was that the local top that we got last week? Because we got a lot of bullish price action with the potential ceasefire, then going into the weekend when JD Vance came back and basically said that they haven't come to any conclusions, the market started dumping. But there was a lot of built-up leverage, so this made sense. Now, if we take a look at the more local price action, I want you guys to pay attention to a potential head and shoulders pattern forming here. So look, I'm already in my shorts. You know this by now. But we could be making a case for a potential head and shoulders pattern. Now, what you want to see if you're currently bullish on Bitcoin at this point in time, first and foremost, is acceptance above these previous local highs. That's going to be crucial. And if we do get acceptance, which basically means higher time frame candle closes. So my definition of this is at least taking a look at the 4-hour chart at the bare minimum for a higher time frame confirmation, but usually daily and even stretching to weekly. This is, of course, from an investment standpoint. Speaking of which, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I discuss on the channel or in my group where I share my own trades should be construed as financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing all of his own personal trades and his overall market analysis. So keep your eyes on Bitcoin right at where we're currently hovering, because this is a potential rejection point. Now, on the lower time frames, you have to also consider correlation with the S&P. I think pushing exactly. I am 100% considering that, and we'll get into that in today's analysis as well. But if the stock market continues to rise, and let's say the stock market does make a brand new all-time high, well, naturally, Bitcoin could climb higher. But I still firmly believe that this would resort in a lower high, and we would bleed lower from there, going sub $60,000. The real question, though, is can the stock market hold up? Because this is already a pretty significant rally. If we take it from here all the way up to where we made it, an 8% rally on the stock market. And a lot of people were actually expecting Bitcoin to do significantly more than that. So if we zoom out a little bit, Bitcoin usually would pump and dump more than the stock market. So we take it from the lows. I mean, yeah, slightly more, but a lot of people have been calling for $80,000 Bitcoin, and this is a very tricky range for us to get through. So keep your eyes at the previous local highs, especially on the lower time frames, or I should say, sorry, on the higher time frames. We need acceptance above there for us to consider any kind of potential sweep of these tariff capitulation lows once more. But right now, you'll notice that we are right at the top of our existing range, and it always makes sense to look for shorts and assume that the range will continue to play out, especially when we get this kind of bear market price action. Sailor is holding the price. Yes. So that's also something I wanted to talk about in my live stream today. Take a look at this. Sailor has been accumulating Bitcoin like a madman with his Stride product. I explained it in my last video briefly, but basically, whenever this is above 100, it means it's trading at a premium, and he can use that as extra liquidity to be able to buy more Bitcoin. And right now, if I refresh this page, and the website is called strc.live, and you'll get access to what you're seeing right here. But right now, you can see that today, he's already accumulated basically 4,000 Bitcoins, if I'm not mistaken, which is absolutely insane. Like, he is single-handedly holding up Bitcoin. There are not many buyers here except for Sailor, who's accumulating for the long term. This is definitely something that we need to consider, because the moment that this premium no longer exists and we are below 100, well, that means no buying pressure from Sailor, which means that the price could just immediately nuke from those levels. We're not seeing that much accumulation at this point in time. My base case is still exactly the same. And I also wanted to talk about, I mean, you can see here, I am in a monster short on Tau. I mean, everyone was so bullish on Tau as it was pumping, but it was an excellent shorting opportunity in my opinion. Yeah, Taiki, that Taiki guy is pretty funny. He's had some pretty funny videos come out in recent months where he calls the bottom, calls the top, but I don't really follow him that much. He popped up on my feed. You also consider hello legend, hello. How do you think Iran wanting the tolls to be paid in Bitcoin will affect its price? I don't think it's going to have that significant of an impact. Right now, at this point in time, the real significance is just Sailor going ape shit buying tons of Bitcoin when he can while his Stride product is at a premium. This is what you want to pay attention to in terms of buying pressure. We are seeing some interesting signs though, and that is that on the move down, going into the weekly close, a lot of longs started piling in. So on the 1-day time frame, there's about 2 times more cumulative long liquidation leverage in the market compared to cumulative short liquidation leverage in the market. And I'm just going to mute myself quickly because I might sneeze. Never mind, I won't. It'll probably come later. But then if we go on the 7-day time frame, you'll also notice that it's the same picture. 30-day time frame, a little bit more shorts in the market. 90-day time frame, more longs. 180-day, relatively even. So I still think we have the case to have a much larger move to the downside. Good evening, sir. How old are you, Mathieu, and are you Dutch or French? I am neither. I mean, I'm French, but I'm born and raised in Canada. But my first language was French. What is up, Semi? Now let's see. Some of you were asking for a potential short setup, and honestly, I would not touch anything right here until we can at least sweep the highs. So let's go on the 15-minute time frame and take a look. Did we sweep the highs, or did we just fail to do so? Yeah, that's like, for me, I would not enter a short until highs are swept and then we get acceptance below here. Otherwise, I'm in my short from higher, as you're probably well aware at this point. Yeah, I know, Semi. It's insane. Like, supposedly Cuba is next on the list. Look, we may stop by Cuba after we're finished. China's president wants to see this ended. I want to see the war in Iran ended. Let's refresh this and see. Yeah, not many more updates here. There's also something to discuss about World Liberty Financial and what they've been doing in crypto. As you know, this project was affiliated with Trump and the Trump family overall, but they've extracted so much out of the crypto market. It is unbelievable. If you just look up World Liberty Financial, it's pretty insane. Like, they've essentially been borrowing against the World Liberty Financial token, and it's just been absolutely nuking at this point in time. I think it's already pretty oversold, so from a trading perspective, I wouldn't even touch it. But it's just insane how much they've extracted from the crypto space. And this is supposedly the crypto president. Again, no political views here. I'm just sharing with you the research that I've done and what I've found, but it's pretty insane. Everyone got very excited when we had this supposed crypto president, but we're not getting any benefits from that. So make of that what you will. Still, 15 minutes, still closed below the previous local high. You'd like to see some kind of sweep. So a sweep would look something like this. You break above, you claim this upside liquidity, and then you get acceptance back below. And then this gives you a pretty easy setup where you have your stop loss right above the local wick. Of course, you can get wicked out, but this is just good from a risk management perspective. So I wouldn't really touch anything here. I'm in a couple of trades, as you've seen. My Tau trade, like, if Tau really nukes, because as you know, I'm pretty bearish on alts in general, or I have been. If Tau properly nukes, I mean, we're already down significantly, but another 20-30%, This is going to be, again, one of my best trades thus far. I had a thesis. I explained it in my premium group. There's a lot of people in there that are very happy with that trade, let's say. But you can see that even though we bounced from a pretty significant support zone, we did create a lower low, and this gave us a nice pivot, forming a lower high. Some people get butthurt when you talk about these things, but just don't argue with the charts. We created a lower high, and I think we're likely going to head lower. Bro, you're great. Your strategies and trade management is so perfect. I saw your trades make 200K, 400K. Yeah, okay. Aditya, Matt, you got me hooked on shorting overbought shitcoins. Yeah, we're looking, in my community right now, we're looking at a couple of overbought shitcoins, and we are ready to short. Or I should say, I am ready to short, and I'll share all my trades in that group. By the way, guys, if you want to know how I'm trading the market, what I do with my own capital, you do have the first link in my description down below. If you DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, you'll be able to join my private group where I share all of my own personal trades. The only requirement is that you've signed up with one of the affiliate exchange links down below, and you start trading on there as you'd normally do. So if you're already trading on Bluffin or 2bit, you can join that group. You just have to make sure that it's under my referral, and you're good to go. I like Bluffin, but 2bit has been great for me as well, and I'm happy that they're a partner on the channel. But yeah, I do like shorting shitcoins. I really do. It's fun. It really is, because everyone gets super excited, and I think one of the biggest realizations that I've had trading the crypto market and starting my community is that a lot of people are allergic to shorting. It's like either we're in a bull market and everyone is longing, or people are flat in a bear market with their spot holdings and they're just terrified to enter a short. But that's the beautiful thing about trading crypto. You can bet easily on both sides, and because there's volatility to both sides, well, you could stand to benefit. So yeah, I love, and that's why I trade crypto over other things. I mean, I still have stock exposure, but I don't really get into that on the channel. Maybe I will at some point. Start a poll with how many times you're shilling. I mean, Semi, to be fair, the live stream's been going for what, 17 minutes? I shilled once, so that's pretty good. I'm shilling because I also want to help people as much as possible. Like, to be perfectly honest with you guys, with these recent trades, I mean, over the past 6 months, the P&L is just, it's really, really solid. I've had some losses, of course, but with these recent trades, I come on the YouTube channel to try to help people even when the market conditions are shit, but I don't really need to, if that makes sense. Like, I could just be chilling, and I do enjoy my weekends and stuff like that, but you know, it gives me purpose to try and help everyone out. And the best way to do that for me is by producing content on the YouTube channel, but also in my group sharing my own personal trades. So, did we sweep the high yet? No, we didn't. Let's see. Yeah, crypto for life. Bull market, bear market, I will be trading it. I've learned some harsh lessons along the way, but ultimately it's brought me to where I am today. And I'm happy that I can help everyone out in this market. Yeah, so like the action tourist, Bitcoin is such a bullish asset. I mean, over the long term, I do think Bitcoin will increase. That's my personal opinion, of course, not financial advice. But I think after we establish these bear market lows, and that's all I can really say. Someone asked just recently here, how are you doing, bro? Love the channel. Thank you very much for your support. NL9L. What is the best time to buy Bitcoin if I have 10K in my account? I'm not going to give you financial advice, but what I will say is this is going to be my strategy for the bear market. If you've been tuning into the channel, this is ultimately what I've been sharing for several weeks now, and I want to make it a thing where every single video I pop in and I give you a quick update as to how this is developing. So I'm slowly going to start dollar cost averaging Bitcoin below $60,000. That is my personal plan. And if we head lower, if we tag sub 50K, I get really aggressive with my cash, which is ready to be allocated into Bitcoin. So from a spot portfolio perspective, I'm not buying any more Bitcoin here. I have exposure, but I'm not buying it. There's no need to do so when we've essentially only dropped 52% from the highs. And historically, we drop somewhere over 75%. I think this time around, it's going to be maybe closer to between 60 and 70%. So if we end up over the course of this year dropping, I know it takes time to play out. You have to bear with me. Well, you have to bear with the market. Some people just don't have the patience. But if we drop 60%, that puts Bitcoin into this zone, which is like right at the bottom of my solid long-term accumulation zone, right around 50K. And if we drop more than that, well, then we start talking about, where I go really aggressive with buying Bitcoin. That's at least my base case. That's what I'm going to do. You can do whatever you want. But yeah. Are you into watches? It's Will Anderson. Yes, I am into watches. Maybe I'll have to show a couple on the channel, but I try to avoid doing that to just not be a flexer. But if some of you guys want to see the watches, yeah, sure, I'll show them. What are your thoughts on the elusive 5-year cycle? No, I don't. I'm sorry, I just don't buy into that bullshit. The 4-year cycle has been proven correct. Even this time around, where we didn't get a massive altcoin season like everyone was hoping, we still got some alts doing crazy stuff. I mean, we had a few months there, as much as a lot of people don't want to admit it, where alts, specifically meme coins, so the absolute garbage of the garbage, performed ridiculously well. Do you guys remember Peanut? Do you guys remember Chill Guy? Whiff? Things got out of hand. And then, of course, Trump launched his token, which was in billions and billions of FDV. So we got some extent of an altcoin season. The 4-year cycle, we topped in Q4 of the post-halving year, and I don't see a reason to fade it. Now, of course, things could play out a bit differently. There's going to be chop along the way, but the really higher time frame bias is the same. You buy Bitcoin in deep value zones and you ride the wave up. That's essentially what I will be doing once again. Sailor's Ponzi scheme can't go on forever. I agree with that, but for now, I mean, hey, he's accumulated 4,000 Bitcoins. It's just insane. There isn't that much buying aside from Sailor. But this is a lot of buying. It's like he's generating unlimited capital at this point. There's someone that spoke about it. So they could actually surpass BlackRock's Bitcoin holdings in the next couple of weeks at this pace. Last week, he bought over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. His average entry continues to increase. But he's been in the market for quite some time. So if I was him, I'd be more stressed about the fact that I've been in crypto for so long and my average entry price is $75,000 or something along those lines. So it's very interesting. I don't give a shit about a watch. Okay. I was just addressing a comment. It's just, hey man, love the content. What would be your estimate for Bitcoin starting to drop from here? I can't give you an estimate because, as you know, if you've been watching the channel, man, I've been bearish on Bitcoin on the higher time frame for quite some time, mainly since 123K. But then I really aggressively had that second short at around 97K, which is the one that I'm still holding. And obviously, it's in my trades' best interest for Bitcoin to continue to drop lower. But we could stay in this range for a while. Like, look, we've already been in the same range for 2 months. So I can't give you a straight answer here. It takes a while for these things to develop. I do think that what we're seeing is a repeat of the ranges that we get in bear market cycles. And if you didn't know, I'll just reiterate that what usually happens is Bitcoin slowly rises. You can see how we're continuing to tap into this trend line and we slowly rise. But this down here is a ton of liquidity getting built up. And eventually what happens is maybe we come back down, test it, maybe we pop back up, and then we break through it and we liquidate all of the longs. This is effectively what happened in the last range where Bitcoin chopped here to the upside, chop, 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 holding on to support, holding on, another pump, coming back down, another pump, and then, boom, all of these longs just getting absolutely smoked in one go. But we can range and trend to the upside for quite some time. And the interesting thing about Bitcoin is that in bull markets, the opposite tends to be true. So when Bitcoin is consolidating, what tends to happen is we actually form lower highs and we start trending a little bit downwards. The best example of this is right in front of our eyes, right around here. Notice how Bitcoin is creating lower highs. And then, boom, we grab all of this short liquidity. So the opposite is also true. This time around, though, you can see we're rising and we're likely going to grab that downside liquidity. Same thing over here. And then all of a sudden, boom, through. So that's at least what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. I think we're going to break down. It's not a matter of if, but rather when, and it might require a lot of patience. So from a spot portfolio perspective, I haven't bought any more Bitcoin at these levels because I do ultimately think that we will head lower, even though we have this guy over here, Michael Saylor, buying like a madman. Yeah, legends, smash that like button. Let's see what the likes are at. Though we have this. We're at 63 likes. Legends. Legends. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say legends. Some of you don't like that. Can we please smash the like button? We have to get above 250 likes. That's a ways away. We're currently at 63 likes. Keep your eyes on the local highs. So we go to the lower time frames here. I'd be shocked if we don't claim this high at this point. Like we should. Because super sweet film, why not buy spot, then sell at a local high? The reason I don't do this is because I enjoy using leverage because you get way more upside. Like the thing is, for people that don't have that much capital, leverage is also a smart tool to be able to use if done correctly, of course. Like for example, a lot of people might not want to buy, a fraction of a Bitcoin to sell it $2,000 higher, but you can actually trade that with leverage. And oh, we claimed it. There we go. Now you look for acceptance. So if you're looking for a potential short trade, what you do now is you essentially look for acceptance back below. If we don't get acceptance, there's no trade. So let's see. Let's see. Must get acceptance back below. Otherwise, no trigger. And acceptance could be a 15-minute candle close back below the level at $72,400 for a potential short trigger. Or, I mean, you can do the 5-minute chart if you really want to, but I like my candle closes. So there it is. We popped above. Now we see if this is going to be a cheeky SFP setup. Because we grab that liquidity. Now we see. Legends, if you want to see all of my own trades, all the trades you're seeing here, up around 200K on Tau, up around 100K on my Bitcoin short, but I've already secured just over 300 on that one. You want to see how I'm trading the market day by day, week by week, my analysis, extra details outside of the YouTube channel. You do have the first link in the description down below. If you DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, you'll be able to join my private group where I share all of my own personal trades and my overall market analysis. Let's see. Thank you. Green April, do you think Bitcoin will have a cool down right now? I'm not sure what you mean by this. Cool down, like as in drop? It's my base case. But maybe not right now. It could take a while for these things to play out. All right, Dennis. You think Barca will make the comeback tomorrow? The thing with Barca is that they play some lovely football. It's just so satisfying to watch. So I'm not sure if they can make the comeback, but they play very, very attractive football. And I am a huge football guy myself. No, I think XRP is a shit coin. I might get a lot of hate for saying that, but I think XRP is a shitcoin. It's very, very centralized. I mean, there's a lot of influencers that seem to think XRP will change the world, but I firmly disagree. Is there any news that just came out that we need to cover? Let's take a look at our friend Walter Bloomberg. Nothing that I could see here. Trump, live from the Oval Office, sets a new 2-week deadline for Iran to make a deal, warning the situation won't be pleasant if Iran doesn't agree. Here we go again. That's why Trump always chickens out. That's what taco means. So he makes these threats, and then, actually, you have another few weeks. Actually, you have another month. So that's the news. Now let's see if the markets will get any kind of sustained rally here. I think the market is ultimately fed up with this kind of nonsense. Let's see. No, I don't use bots at all. Dan Chapman, if you look at the 4-year cycles, it would suggest that we can continue to go down, and everything is not lining up to be bullish. We're not going to get any rate cuts. Inflation came in at 3.3%, which was in line with the consensus, but it was much higher than the previous year-over-year metric. Employment rate is increasing, which makes the Fed's dual mandate extremely difficult. They can't just cut rates into inflation. The stock market typically doesn't perform that well in midterm years. I don't know what else to say. And history would suggest that if the Bitcoin 4-year cycle does play out, which it has been doing, and I've been trading the market in that way and making some pretty solid profits at that, well, we still have a ways to go because Bitcoin has only dropped just over 50% from the all-time highs. And I do think that we will find our way back below $60,000. I'm not a perma bear. I believe in Bitcoin in the long term. I have to keep reiterating that. And it looks like we're currently below that wick now. So let's see. But this year is a bear market year. Are you related to the Moon Show in any way, Metsier? No, I'm not related to the Moon Show, but when I'm in, because right now I'm in Canada, but when I'm in Dubai, I've gone on their show before to express my views. And it's very interesting because for them, it's like a little bit of a different audience. Like, I don't know if they've pivoted, but they were pretty bullish. like indefinitely. And then I came on the channel and I was quite bearish. I got some hate for that, but I'm just expressing my views of the market, and I'll leave it at that. Kamal Shah, actually, you know, you mentioned my entries are always very precise. Okay, wait one sec. Now we have to pay attention because this is a pretty interesting squeeze up. You mentioned my entries are always precise. That's not actually the case. I'm a swing trader and I look for the best possible entries. So I'll give you an example here. So the tariff capitulation lows, if I go to the 1-day time frame, was a key confluence zone that I was looking at for quite some time. And when we broke above and got acceptance back below, I immediately added to my existing short. It's just looking for confluence zones. There was a lot of shorts piled up here. It coincided with around the anchored VWAP. Yeah, I mean, there's not that much else to say. I did the same thing right at around 97K, which coincided basically with the bull market support band. Again, anchored VWAP from all-time high to there. So I look for the best possible entries, of course, because if you're trading, you might as well do that. But I'll show you my Tau position. Look, my entry was 323.12, and the mark price is currently 256. But if I go on the Tau chart, I actually entered my Tau short trade right like here. So if we zoom in, you'll notice that we actually pumped. So I entered right around here and we had a pretty decent move. It was like we still had another like almost 10% move to the upside before my short ended up in profit. So that just goes to show that I'm a swing trader. So I try to have the best entries, but sometimes you don't get them. What's going to be with your trades if Bitcoin goes to $79,000 to $84,000? First and foremost, if you're in the premium group, I'm probably already going to share this today, but I'm likely going to put my Tau short at break even. I've already secured just under $50,000 in profits. Obviously, it would be a shame to lose all of this. My TP1 is very, very close. Like if Bitcoin drops down to say 70K again, I think Tau would hit my TP, my first TP, which was looking for like a 30-40% move down. My Bitcoin short, that one already has stop loss at break even. Like I've already secured over 300K on this trade. I'm up 100K in unrealized, but it's I mean, if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. So that's essentially the outcome of those trades. I don't really stress on that. And I would honestly, like if we got a big pump, I would really be looking for another massive short in the market. I think it would provide an excellent opportunity. Anyways, if that sounds interesting and you want to see how I've been trading the market, these trades which were shared in my group, remember, you have the first link in my description down below. If you DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, you'll be able to join my private group. It is free. You're trading with your own money. The only thing that I ask is that you sign up with one of these links down below. I typically recommend Bluffin or 2bit, and you can join that group. You're trading with your own money, as you would normally do, but you just get access to the group. And we're also building out some pretty interesting tools for the community, which I don't want to spoil it, but it's looking very, very nice. Anything else? Oh my. Oh my. They just keep on buying Bitcoin. It's Will Anderson. It really depends. Like if we have such a Tau already dumped like over 20% from my entry. And so if my expectation is that's going to head lower, at this point in time, I'd have to consider the fact that if we already get a move back to my entry, then maybe it would suggest that we can get another push higher, and therefore I wouldn't necessarily want to be in the trade, because I can take those profits on the way down and then simply re-enter if I get stopped out at break even. So that's how I typically do it. Now on the SFP trades, which I think, Will Anderson, you're in my community. On the SFP trades, so swing failure pattern, which I discussed here. Let's go again on the 15 minutes. Like this. Obviously, I wait for the 15-minute candle close, or some people do the 5-minute. What would happen is if Bitcoin were to drop down to these previous local highs, which I have my zones highlighted on the chart, I would simply, my stop would be moved down to break even. And then it becomes a risk-free trade. But as you know, you always pay fees to enter these kinds of trades. And so I shave just a little bit off to pay the fees to really make it a risk-free trade. But from a swing shorting perspective, it makes it a little bit different, because I really do wait for like big moves to the downside before I consider moving my stop to break even. Rave is pumping. Can you cover that? I try not to cover alts on the channel that much, but if you want to know my thoughts about Rave, join my community. Let's just leave it at that, because I am mentally preparing for something. Yes, we did sweep the high. Yaz Shah, you could see here on the chart. Look, right now we've broken above the high, and so long as we don't continue to close above, then it could suggest that we come back down. So let's see. Let's see. I don't trade the 15-minute chart, really. I've shared it. Yaz Shah, yeah, maybe you're onto something. Maybe you're onto something. I only really share some scalps here and there in the community because some of you have been asking for it. But in terms of my own personal trading strategy, I'm not a scalper. I like holding positions for much longer. Yeah, it's Will Anderson. Exactly. No, I don't think that the anchored VWAP is getting overused. I think it's pretty solid. I have no complaints with that, to be honest. It's been really, really good to identify, break of trends. Aren't alts, Bitcoin, and ETH linked? I don't know what you mean by linked, but if you mean like their performances are correlated, yeah, they are. However, it doesn't mean that just because Bitcoin goes up, alts go up. That would mean that basically Bitcoin dominance is flat. So there's something to consider with Bitcoin dominance. I actually haven't spoken about Bitcoin dominance on the channel for quite some time. If you've been tuned into the channel for, over a year now, I used to always talk about Bitcoin dominance and how alts were going to continue to bleed against Bitcoin. But basically what that means is alts just struggle against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin can go up, but alts go up less. Therefore, Bitcoin dominance goes up. Bitcoin can go down, but alts go down even more. Therefore, Bitcoin dominance goes up. If alts go up and Bitcoin hardly goes up, alts went up more, then Bitcoin dominance is dropping. If you can't access Bluffin, I would highly recommend that you check out 2bit. They're a very solid exchange. Really like them. You can get up to $60,000 in tradable funds and a $600 bonus. But I also have Velto for those of you that like self-custody. Solid self-custody platform. I have Weeks. Everyone knows Weeks. And I also have BTCC. So there's a lot of options down below. It should satisfy some of your needs. Or most of your needs, I should say. Love from India. Hello. Did you short Rave? Other influencers are calling it a coin with no purpose. I did not enter. Look. All right. Fine. 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 You guys, you've been pushing me, so I'll talk about it. It's in my recent searches. The thing with these kinds of coins that are entering these parabolic moves to the upside, you don't want to just jump into a short without seeing the signs of exhaustion, because this thing, no one knows. We're already almost at a $3 billion market cap. This thing can continue to skyrocket. No one knows. I'm just giving my opinion here, but I wait to see these signs of exhaustion, because when the dump comes, and believe me, it will come, it will be a ridiculous dump, and I want to try to take advantage of it. But for now, have not entered any trade on this. So yeah, we look for exhaustion, and I'll be sharing that in my community when I decide to enter a trade on this token or for any other crypto assets, for that matter. Blood from EU YouTube. Enjoy school, my man. So something that I wanted to highlight from a higher time frame perspective as well is just some general knowledge about candle closes and why I like candle closes, because strong bodies mean strength, and it means that the trend can continue. So if we go on the 1-day time frame, I spoke about this example in my last video. I really would like everyone to pay attention to this. It's crucial in my opinion. When you get a big move to the upside, you want to see continuation above that level. And this was last week on Tuesday when Bitcoin got a strong move from 68.2K, and the high of that day was literally $4,000 higher. Then the next day we got a little bit of consolidation similar to that day, and we created a big wick here. This was the wick that you would want to pay attention to on this is daily time frame, right? So this is pretty high time frame. And you'll notice that we had volume. Let me just zoom out. Look at these candles down below. Volume started to decrease here. So this was the biggest volume move. Then we had another little push, but we created a big wick to the upside here. I don't know why it's doing that. Why can't I draw? We had a big wick to the upside here. And look at the next 2 daily candles. A big move up, but look, no body closes above this wick. Another move up on Saturday, but no closes above this wick. So continuation usually stems from when we after we create a wick, we get the closes above that wick. Otherwise, closing within that wick is it's just not favorable for continuation to the upside, which is why this move was well within our expectations. So now we have to see, because this is a very strong red candle from a daily time frame perspective, and right now we're hovering just below the anchored VWAP. So it is an interesting point in the market where structurally, I still think that Bitcoin can move lower. But when you got someone like Saylor buying 4,000 plus Bitcoins a day, price gets a little bit of support. Love from Antarctica. That's epic if you're actually in Antarctica. If you can't use Bluffin, as I said, Legends, please join me on 2bit, one of my top exchanges at the moment. I love them, and they give you great bonuses as well. And this whole wicking stuff that I discussed, if we zoom out on Bitcoin, I just want to continue this analysis. You'll notice that the same thing happened at all-time highs. Yes, you heard that right. This is how I was able to short Bitcoin at $123,000. So what happened was, let's go on a 4-hour candle closing basis. because I was already looking for signs of topping out there. Right here is the moment. Let me see if I can find it now. Was it the 4 hour? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was this one right here. Right here. When Bitcoin moved to 125.8K on the 4 hour time frame basis. This was on a Sunday, and then going into the Monday, we had a sweep of that level and no candle closes above the level. We can always sweep it. The wicks can always go higher, but no candle closes above that level. And I mean, you know what's next. Then we talk about October 10th. Yeah. But this is what I like to see. Also, volume after this move slowly started to decrease. Actually, it stemmed from this move. So price can actually go higher even with the volume decreasing, but it starts to show those initial signs of exhaustion. So those are the things that you want to look out for. Hope that makes sense. Oh, did I actually say legends 14 times? That's insane. My apologies. I thought I was doing pretty well. Normally, I would have said it 48 times at this point. Now we go to Bitcoin. Did we get the rejection? All right. So this is the perfect example. Look, again, no acceptance above the level. Now, of course, this is on the lower time frames, but look, we create this wick, price comes down, we tap into support, we get a bounce, but even though we popped above it, we did not get acceptance above the level, and therefore a drop. Sometimes it really is as simple as that. I'm happy we caught this one as we were talking about the wicks. I think this was a perfect example. Happy about that. Big Wickster. Where? KCVH6EZ. So for those of you that don't know, I actually live in Dubai, but right now I'm in Canada visiting some friends and family. Because of the war escalations, I decided to come home for a little bit. However, I will be going back. I will be going back before summer. That's my plan. I have to say though, summer in Canada is lovely. And so I don't want to stay in the heat of Dubai in the summer, but I will be going back. It's a great place to be. What do you do in Canada in your free time, Matt? I smoke my friends in tennis like I do with Andy. I also am a big football guy. Like, I love football. I have an injury right now, so I haven't played too much. But I like to stay active. So gym, I like to do these. There's this concept in a book. I forget what it was called. But every year you want to do something called like a misogi, I believe, which is something that's very, very difficult that you've never done before. And it allows you to challenge yourself every single year. So one of those things that I did previously was a marathon. I just wanted to do it, and it was pretty solid. I did a marathon in Quebec City, and it was, sorry, personal. I don't think you guys are that interested in this, but anyways, I did a marathon in Quebec City as my misogi for 1 year, and I was pretty happy. I trained for several months, but I already had like an athletic build, so it allowed me to performed pretty well. And it was my first ever marathon. I think I did it in like, it was like a 3 hour, just over 3 hours and 30 minutes or so. So I was very happy with that. I went with a big group of friends. So that's what I do. Try to plan out a very difficult endeavor over the course of the year that takes months to train. And I try to accomplish it every year. And that naturally takes up time when you're training for these kinds of things. Like I'd like to do an ultra, experiment with that kind of stuff. Challenging stuff. Are you Polish? No, I am Canadian. Pickleball, tennis, same thing, right? Absolutely not. Don't even get that twisted. Pickleball is what I play with my mom and her friends. Tennis is what I play with my friends. So I hope that makes sense. But I will say, I did pickleball one-on-one with one of my buddies. And one-on-one is intense because you get really cheeky with some of the shots. I love that. It was actually a great time. It was a great time. All right, so you can see the Wick analogy seems to be playing out. Now you want to get acceptance back below. So this is another sweep. So, and this is the same thing replicating on the 4 hour. If for like the 4 hour close is in 2 hours from now. So if Bitcoin closes within this candle and even the next 4 hour, we get another move to the upside, sweeping up some short liquidity, but the candle body closes below this initial candle, it would suggest that Bitcoin is already ready to roll over. So very, very interesting price action. And we're talking about a potential head and shoulders pattern, and we held support early this morning for this long. Does my analysis ever conflict with what the moon show is saying? I feel like it conflicts like all the time. I mean, I haven't been on their show in a while, right? I had a great time last time I was there. But if they're bearish, then no, it doesn't conflict. But if they're bullish, then yes, it does conflict. I have to be honest, I don't really watch other people in the space that much. The more I've started producing my videos, the more I've realized you guys are here to understand what I'm thinking about the market, not what other people are thinking. Otherwise, you'd go and watch other people. So I try my best to not get influenced by others. And because of that, I just don't watch that much content in the space. Tennis is great. Do you have a UTR rating? No, I don't. I only recently got into tennis over the past year and a half, 2 years. And so I really want to start taking it seriously. So hopefully I will at some point. Does Sailor's contribution raise your bottom floor? No, it doesn't. Because the thing with Sailor is the moment that this premium is no longer accessible, like the moment we're no longer traded at a premium with his Stride product, is the moment that he's no longer able to buy Bitcoin. So it actually makes it easier for him to buy as Bitcoin is pumping as well. So because it's impacted by the MicroStrategy stock, I believe. I don't think that this will have an impact on the bottom. In fact, when we drop more, it can provide a little bit of panic amongst people that hold MicroStrategy as a stock. So it doesn't really make a difference. And remember, in the previous cycles, Sailor has held at a significant loss before, and he just holds on the way. The only annoying thing about his business model and his strategy, which a lot of people call a Ponzi, is the fact that he is incentivized to buy when prices are high. That's why when we were covering his purchases over the course of the past few months, even the past few years, it was always like, Michael Saylor's average buy would come out on Monday as to what he bought in the previous week. And it was something like he bought $500 million worth of Bitcoin at, for example, $80,000. And then the Monday opens and Bitcoin is sitting at 72K. And it's like, well, great investor. But yeah, so it's something to definitely consider. I don't think that it's really going to impact the bottom that much. Yeah, Ben Cowan is solid. The only thing with Ben Cowan is like he's very much a higher, like even higher time frame than I am. So I know sometimes I come on the channel and I say, "Hey guys, Bitcoin's at $72,000. I still think we're going to go below $60,000." And I've been repeating myself for over a month on this topic, maybe two. Or actually, I've started talking about this since we were at 100K. He may say something similar, but he doesn't actually like trade it from a leverage trading perspective. I don't think he believes in leverage trading. I do. It's changed my life. And if you can adopt proper risk management, I mean, and you enter some good trades, like these are my trades, which are cumulative P&L of over 300K unrealized and over 350K realized. And yeah, it's looking solid. I believe in leverage trading if done well. So let's see what we get. This is from your FOMC Live. You getting better. Thank you. Do you enjoy Nova Scotia? I've actually never been. Recently, a new viewer, John Gorman 8652. Great info. I wish I would have found your channel sooner. I'm very happy to just provide you with the value that you're hopefully looking for. And hopefully this can continue. And stay tuned. Guys, it's going to get so boring. I mean, I'm already shaking my head at it because I look at my analytics, and I talked about it on a previous stream, but I'm getting less and less viewers to my videos because one, I'm repeating myself, that I understand, but two, people are giving up on crypto. And I would imagine that after Bitcoin likely goes below $60,000, people will give up even more. And it's just going to be horrible to produce content in this kind of environment. But also what's going to happen, and it happens every single bear market cycle, as price nukes, people are like, all right, screw this, I'm never touching crypto again. Then they come back when we've made an all-time high. I'm telling you, if you can stick with it, you don't have to watch all of my videos or all of my live streams, although I would appreciate if you did, but just stick to it. Stay tuned to stay tuned on the markets. Make sure you're updated, and there will be some great opportunities this year. Not financial advice, of course. That's just what I personally believe. But most people are not able to just stick with it, and they're going to start buying when prices are much, much higher. Hi, Matt. Good to see you and great content. Switching from Andy to you is a great way to spend an evening. Oh, that's very nice of you. I appreciate it. Yeah, Andy's great with Elliott Wave. Like he's a wizard. I am not an Elliott Wave guy, but love the guy. I'm actually going to go visit him this summer as well in Spain. I really like your approach. You're one of the most sensible crypto YouTubers out there, if I can call you that way. Keep it like that and never change. I will do my best. I will do my best. And and thank you for your support. I really do appreciate all of the love. Hear every video. Semi, you legend. Now this is interesting price action. Oh, yeah, I feel very bad for people that bought ETH at all-time highs, especially because this all-time high for ETH was so devastating, like just a little wick. Like it was an all-time high for ants. I mean, it's still technically an all-time high, but man, devastating. Yeah, I mean, Andy has a very like it's a little bit more complex than how I explain things, but the very interesting thing with Elliott Wave and my trading strategy is I'll often talk with Andy or Devault for that matter. Those of you know Devault as well. And I'll point something out and we come to the exact same conclusions. So You just pick and choose what strategy works for you, stick to it. The main thing with trading is just risk management. If you can handle the risk you're taking, then you will likely be successful. But most people take on way too much risk, or they get on like a 4-trade winning streak, and then on the 5th trade, they go all into the position, hoping that this is the one that's going to make them a millionaire and change their financial situation forever. And then they get absolutely demolished, losing all of the gains and then some. So it's a psychological thing. I don't know. I disagree, Rick Ty. I don't think Elliott waves are bullshit. At least from a higher time frame perspective, very, very handy. More on Rave. I will not touch more on Rave because that will be reserved to the members in the premium group. Guys, if you want to know how I will be trading this token, which seems to be going absolutely parabolic, you want to know exactly when I decide to enter a trade, you know what I'm going to say. Join my group for free. It's where I share these exclusive market updates and how I am personally trading the market. All the trades that I show on the YouTube channel that I highlight, these were shared in my community with the members. So if you want to know how I'm doing this, sign up with the first link in my description down below. You click this link, you DM me the keyword CBM, and you'll get an automated message, which essentially just asks you to sign up with one of the affiliate exchange links. You start trading on there, make an account with one of my links, make it your go-to trading account, and you get access to the group. It's as simple as that. But yeah, this thing is ripping. Almost at 2 billion market cap. Wow. I'm not touching this yet. Crazy. That's a very good question, Daniel Duran. I'm in the middle of my first serious bear market as a systematic Bitcoin accumulator. What's the single most important mental shift you made that allowed you to keep stacking through the worst of it? So first and foremost, I never really get the perfect tops or the perfect bottoms. Sometimes on the trades you do, but from a spot portfolio perspective, I always try to get near the bear market bottom. So like I haven't started accumulating Bitcoin yet. I've been pretty transparent about that. However, from the mindset side of things, it's important to remind yourself why you're in the space. Some people, I just want to make a bunch of money with crypto. I don't care about the technology, whatever, the tech, the fundamentals. But I firmly believe that Bitcoin is one of the only, if not the only, source of sound money. And that'll bring me to something that's a little bit more boring. But in bear markets, I have historically reread the Bitcoin standard. It gets you so fired up about what it is you're actually putting your money in. And it also broadens your horizon and it allows you to approach the market from a more higher time frame perspective. And because of this reminder in that book, it makes me want to stack even more Bitcoin for the long term, because I do think that this asset class will dominate in the long term. Or I shouldn't say the entire asset class. I should just say Bitcoin as a whole. Bitcoin is the king. So I hope that answers your question, but it's just like reminding yourself as to why you're in the space in the first place. You can watch like a really long Bitcoin documentary on YouTube, and it's boring stuff like that, but that ultimately moves the needle forward and helps with your long-term conviction. So yeah, but I will personally start stacking at much lower levels. That's a mistake. Haven't even dipped a toe at 60K. No, it's not a mistake because I still hold a significant amount of Bitcoin sub 30K. Most of my accumulation was between 15 and 30K in the last bear market. So I'm happy with my overall exposure, but until we reach these very long-term, deep discounted zones, from my own personal portfolio perspective, I am more than happy to wait to 60K. And if we don't get 60K for whatever reason, which is by no means my base case, then okay, I have my long-term stack still. So I hope that addresses that as well. Okay, I have Bitcoin from 3K. Yeah, but the question isn't if you have some, it's how much do you have and are you happy with your portfolio size? I am still happy with my portfolio size. Yes, it does mean I don't DCA. I'm looking for those deep discounted zones, brother. If I had only like a little bit, like a fraction of a Bitcoin or something, then yeah, maybe I would have dipped my toes in a little bit earlier, but I am happy to wait. I really am. And I don't want to lead anyone astray. Like, I'm just sharing with you what I am personally doing in this market. If you want exposure to Bitcoin, you can make that decision for yourself if you think that this is a deep value zone. Ultimately, I do think that Bitcoin will continue to rise over the years. So make of that information what you will. Rave is raving at full scale. Seems everyone is talking about this. Woof. Crazy. We're over a $3 billion market cap. Can Saylor keep buying Bitcoin at this pace is the question. No, I would not. Guys, from a spot portfolio perspective, it doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin, hype, any cryptocurrencies, I am not buying at these levels. I really firmly believe that we will be dropping. Just have to be patient. And you learn patience through being in the market for as long as I've been. Rave is criming. Exactly. And it will be criming back to the downside. Matsir, I just want to say I really appreciate you spending time live with us, supporting us, and sharing your knowledge. Once again, a big thank you from Croatia. Thank you, Cisco. I do appreciate you as well. And I mentioned it. You must have commented, I think, a while ago, or maybe that was someone else from Croatia. But Croatia is absolutely beautiful. I loved it there. I actually spent, it was over a month in Split at an Airbnb. It was nice. Very, very nice. Beautiful weather. Great food. It was just awesome. I never understood that blonde guy in Dubai, nor do I understand the older cat on the moon show. The crypto kid seems more based. I have no idea what the other two are even talking about. The blonde guy. Okay, MPG Video Pro. I think who you're referring to, the blonde guy is probably MM Crypto, and the older guy is Carl the Moon. So these guys are OGs in the space. They've been in crypto like earlier than everyone. So they, let's say they're in phenomenal situations for themselves, and they can afford to basically take their time with accumulation, be bullish for a very long period of time. Like they've been in the market like, oh man, I want to say when I got into crypto, they were already in the market for several years. So these guys are chilling for sure. Hey, I just sent a verification screenshot for the premium group. How long until I might get an invite? Oh, you're referring to my my private group up above. Yeah, so usually within 24 hours, but I also have people that are helping me now verify and get people into the group. So it should be less than 24 hours. Guys, if you want to join my group where I share all of my own trades, remember, DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram after clicking this link up above, and you'll get a couple of instructions, very, very simple and straightforward to be able to join the group for free. They're full of crap. They made money affiliate marketing. I mean, my vision, I don't know. I don't have any opinion of that, honestly. The reason I say that is because I've also been transparent. Like how these exchange links down below, and we could talk about it. I've been very transparent about it, and I have no issues talking about it. Basically, whenever you enter a trade, you get a fee. Like you pay a fee to enter a trade. When I enter a trade, I pay a fee, and that fee goes directly to the exchange. The only difference here is that when you sign up with me, it's a way to support the channel in the sense of part of that fee, which you would have already paid to the exchange, gets split up with me. So I earn a fraction of that. It doesn't give you more fees. It doesn't add anything to what you have to pay to enter a trade, for example, which is standard across all exchanges. It just makes the exchange share a little bit, if that makes sense. So, yeah. I don't know if that answered your question. Like, of course, they made money through affiliate marketing, but these guys were OG Bitcoin bulls when Bitcoin was like, what, below $5,000, $3,000. So, as far as I'm concerned, they believe in the asset class well before anyone else did, and they are rewarded for that. Matt, do you think it could pump to 80, 82K? Well, where would that put us? 80, 82K. It's not my base case at this point in time, but I think it's important that we all understand where the bull market support band is, and right now that is at 78K. So we would need an aggressive move. We would need to sweep up this liquidity. It is not out of the question. My only thing here is like, I'm not going to play this. I talked about in my community along from around this zone. Unfortunately, I was on a train and I wasn't able to execute on it, but we talked about grabbing this liquidity for a move to the upside. Now, how high would that move be? I honestly didn't know, but we were always going to get a reaction from around this zone because it was the value area low, and this was a good longing opportunity. However, as we approach the top of the existing range and we have these moving averages dropping, simple moving averages, exponential moving averages, tariff capitulation lows, former resistance. This is like, if we get a move outside the top of our range, I would expect it to reject. So that's my base case. So to answer your question, I don't necessarily think that we make it that high. Hi, bro. Nice to see you live after a long time. Please see if you can stream daily. I would love to stream daily. However, every single time in my community, and by the way, if you want to join my other community, down below, you click this link. It's just my Telegram community. It's free. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to go to an exchange. You don't have to do anything. I just share some updates and some thoughts on the market sometimes. But every time I leave a poll in that community saying video update or live stream, most people vote for the video update. And so what this basically means is I'm going to keep doing video updates for as long as people want video updates. It's always video updates that win. Always, like without fail. So to accommodate people that want live streams, I do one live stream a week, or so I try. And then whenever we have big events like FOMC, Trump is going to address the nation, then yeah, I'll go live for those as well. Thanks for your financial advice. This is not financial advice. To reiterate, not financial advice. I'm just, put things in perspective. I'm just a random guy on the internet that you're watching right now, and I'm sharing all of my own personal trades and my overall market analysis. Not financial advice. It's what I am personally doing. Use that information as you wish. Thanks for telling us to short altcoins all of last year. Saved me so much hurt while making money. Awesome. I'm so glad. It was an epic time to short altcoins. So great. And we might be seeing another opportunity. I'll leave it at that. Financial advisors don't make the money you make. Yeah. Actually, that's a very good point. Something that I wanted to discuss, which really frustrates me, is, and this is why I tell you guys to be very selective about who you listen to in the crypto market, because you'll see a lot of guys that will post 3, 4, 5 different scenarios for Bitcoin every single day on crypto Twitter. And then when one of them works out, See, I told you so. And they start posting as if they're these geniuses that called it. The worst part is they don't show any trades. If you've been in my group, you know sometimes I'll pop on, hey guys, I lost 40 grand on this trade. Hey guys, I made 100 grand on this trade. I'm showing you the trades. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and there's money behind it, and I lose that money, which absolutely sucks, of course. But the guys that are just making these calls, and then they say, see, I told you. Okay, well, did you make money with that call? Like, that's the real question. Did you make money? Anyways, it infuriates me how people can grow a following like that without actually backing up what they're saying with their own capital. They just spew nonsense, and somehow they're rewarded for it. Hey, dude, I've got to bounce. Love the channel. Thank you for tuning in, Fatrick. I appreciate it. This is educational advice. Exactly. It is educational advice. For someone looking to enter a short position, is this value area high and slowdown in movement a good entry? Oof, a very tricky question. So, I mean, on the lower time frames, which we explained not too long ago, if I would have taken a short, it would have been here. Literally here. We were waiting for acceptance back within. That 15-minute candle close was prime for a short with stop loss above here. Look at that move down. Now, if we just retrace it, well, you've already made some profits on that trade if you took it. And your position is protected. So now it's hard for me to tell because we're holding on, we're trying to hold on to or break above the value area high. I'm short from higher and I'm just holding it, so I can't really tell you. But you got to look for sweeps and things like that to get good entries on the lower time frames, and then they can ultimately turn into swing trades. But it's not just about the money, it's about the knowledge, consistency, and helping others to grow in the space too. Absolutely, absolutely. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, one, when I come on the channel and I'm very bullish or I'm very bearish, you know that I have money behind what I'm saying, which adds an extra layer of accountability. And two, of course I want to help. I want to do my best to help. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on the live stream. Otherwise, I would just be trading the market and not be posting on YouTube. But I want to make a positive impact in the crypto space. And it kind of goes hand in hand with making money, if that makes sense. Because my impact would be less positive if I had more losses than wins. You get me? So, you know, it's a double or triple whammy, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, I bought Bitcoin, JDog26. Unfortunately, I bought Bitcoin at near the top. Would you sell now and re-enter at a later time when it drops? What top? Are you saying like local top? Like up here? Or are you saying like top, like 126K? Oscar Nielsen 2781. Do you see Bitcoin potentially sweeping a higher level above 97K as remotely close to realistic? Like even that would technically be a lower high. That would be major, excuse my language, fuckery. I don't see that. I really don't see that. I have to be honest with you. I don't see that. Right now, the thing to pay attention to for on a higher time frame bias or on a higher time frame basis, if you're a bull, is if we start to get weekly closes above the bull market support band here, like proper weekly closes above, which at this point it's trending down, like call it above 78.5K. That could mean that maybe things are changing. but I don't see us going all the way up to 100K. I don't see it as something that's feasible. Sorry, I'm just going through some of the earlier comments. Let's see. Oof, J-Dog, 115K. Man, it really depends on what your time frame is, because like locally, I think that we're at a stage where this pump is going to get exhausted. So locally, if I would have bought Bitcoin down here, this is not a bad idea to offload. But since you bought at $115,000, it really depends on if you're okay with sitting in pain for like another year or a bit. Because I think, if you've been watching the channel, that regardless of where this goes at the top of this range, we're probably going to come back down. The probabilities favor that. We're creating this wedging structure. We're building up liquidity to the downside. So it's a very tricky predicament. I can't tell you what to do with your money, but I do firmly believe that we will see Bitcoin back above $115,000 if that helps you in any regard. Matt, thoughts on the trend line tagging 126, 97, and 73? Maybe I should have had this on my chart. I think I did, but then I decided to just, let's see. Sorry, I'm focused. Do you use the wicks? Because I like using the wicks. And if we use the wicks, pardon, my trend line's a bit fat, but it could suggest that Bitcoin could still climb up. I guess if you use the candles. Yeah, like then we're much closer. My thoughts are that we're probably going to top out relatively soon, regardless. We kind of forming a higher low on the 1 week. On the 1 week, a higher low. Okay. Legends. And I have not said legends in a while. I know that for a fact. Legends. Remember what I talked about maybe 30 minutes ago with the whole wick? You want to get closes above the wicks. Closes above the wicks would signal strength. Well, the more you zoom out, the more accurate this actually is. So, with that analysis on the 1 week time frame, what do you notice? What wick would I use as a reference point? This one, oops, looks like a pretty damn good wick to consider. Do you see any closes above that level yet? No. So, as far as I'm concerned, this can still roll over. So I hope that makes sense. This is a 1 week time frame. A lot can happen in between. We can get a wick up to $78,000, but we're not getting closes above this wick, which is found at 74K on a weekly time frame candle closing basis. All candle or all wick? Oh, it shows better on the daily. Okay. Let's do that then. It's hard because my screen is really zoomed in a way because half my face is taking up the camera. 1 second. I mean, am I tripping? Is it because I'm looking at Binance one day? Because when I connect this, 73K is not like it can go higher. I'm just looking through. I'm glad you brought up Raven in the Discord because I literally have been watching the thing since, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. Yeah. Hasib, bro, what's up? All right, I'm gonna do a like view. We better be looking nice. I'll refresh it in front of everybody. 177. Not so bad. We've done better. We've done better. Smash the like button, legends. Come on. Smash it. Absolutely destroy that like button. Rave is ripping right now. Is it still ripping? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so this is why I shared an update in my group this morning regarding this token. This is why I'm not entering a short, because I need to see some signs of exhaustion. This is not exhaustion by any means. Why Bitcoin dominance pump and Bitcoin pump as well? The reason Bitcoin dominance pumps and Bitcoin pumps as well is because Bitcoin is outperforming the rest of the markets. So what this means is Bitcoin is going up more than other coins are going up, and therefore Bitcoin dominance goes up. If Bitcoin was going up and altcoins were doing better than Bitcoin, so for example, because it calculates the entire altcoin market. So let's say Bitcoin went up 5% in a day and altcoins went up collectively 10% in that day. Bitcoin dominance would be going down. So I hope that answers your question. All right. So we had a nice sweep on the 1 hour, but there's still 26 minutes left on this 1 hour candle for Bitcoin. We covered the 15-minute. We talked about how that was a good shorting opportunity. Let me know in the comments down below if you managed to enter that short. It was a textbook SFP setup. Now we're wicking into the local highs. Justin Todd, but man, just be careful with shorting that. When they pump like that, I don't know if you guys remember the coin called Pippin. That one was pumping for no reason, and every time it got some kind of correction, it just pumped even further. So the idea with these entries is you want to move your stop to break even. Ideally, you get favorable price action, then you get stopped at a break even. No big deal. You look for a new entry. But I'm being patient for now with that one. I am in a short. Liquidation at 72,844. Why? Why are you giving me your liquidation price? Guys, I can't remember the last time I got liquidated. You mean your stop loss? Or your liquidation? Some of you were asking me as well, like, bro, what do you mean your liquidation? Because you could see like my liquidation for my Bitcoin short is literally 200K and my Tau short is almost 900. The reason is because I'm using cross margin on this account. So I do have a good amount of capital loaded up on my Bluffin account. It's my go-to exchange. So if you're looking for a good exchange, make sure to join me on Bluffin where you can earn up to $50,000 in withdrawable bonuses. I haven't seen many exchanges do this. Obviously, it's based on your trading volume, but you can earn less if you trade a little bit less. But you can actually withdraw these profits, these bonuses. Then on 2bit, it's the opposite in terms of 60K in tradable funds. Very solid. And I might be partnering with a potential prop firm at some point to give access to more capital to some of you if that interests you. 2bit, another solid one. Yeah, exactly, Rick Tai. But I mean, I would never have my liquidation price remotely close to where, you know what I mean? I just wouldn't do that. I think it's a scary thing to do. Crazy rave. Crazy. Please remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing in this market. We need to always make sure that everyone understands that. How is Michael Saylor doing? He's going to accumulate over 5,000 Bitcoins today, isn't he? Absolutely insane stuff. My stop loss is my liquidation. Where can we learn how to place shorts and longs? Donna Jarrett. So if you go to my channel, the featured video is a bluff and leverage trading tutorial. That should give you the basics. I plan to do more tutorials, but that should give you the basics to understand like how to pop in and out of trades and what to do. But I would recommend, if it's your first time, start with like an insignificant amount of capital to you. So if that's $1, start with $1 trades. I think it's the best way forward, and you start very, very slow. Rave is dumping. I mean, we've had some dumps and then we've popped back up. So let's see. Yep. Hyperliquid is okay to trade. Like if you want to trade on there, it's totally up to you where you trade. I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. But to access my group, you do have to use one of the exchanges that I promote. If you want a decentralized experience, because some of you are big traders and you prefer decentralized, which I personally like to trade more on sexes, but if you want a decentralized experience, check out Velto. Very, very solid platform. They have some of the lowest fees on the market. Very, very good. Third link in my exchange list. And you can join my community if you trade on there with my link. How long have we been live? One and a half hours. I mean, if you just look at the 4-hour candle on Rave, it looks bullish. Very bullish. So I'd be very shocked if we don't sweep the highs again. Please be careful if you're trying to short this. It's hard to catch the perfect top, so protect your position immediately. My non-financial advice. Oh, you mean hype, like shorting hype. Well, yeah, I trade on Hyperliquid. It's good, especially if you live in Colombia like me. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend just trading on Velto then. If you like something like hype or Hyperliquid, Velto offers the same thing, but with lower fees. I like Velto. Matt, you should do a 30 or 60-day challenge. Turn 10K into 100K. I want to do this, and I've talked about it before, but there's a couple of things that are tricky. I feel like if I was only trading with 10K, I would maybe be a little bit more irresponsible, and I would take bigger positions to try and get the capital up significantly. And that could resort in me just losing 10K fast. That's one thing. I'm being honest with myself. It's hard if you're using a different amount of capital to then get used to less capital, and I could still follow the same risk metrics, but it's just like it's not how I'm used to trading. So that's number one. Number two, I would be kind of worried that people would just want to copy, because I think that that's basically what people just want to do with these kinds of challenges. So that's definitely another concern. But let me know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Should I do a 10 to 100K challenge? Let me know down below. Say yes if that interests you, no if it doesn't. Turning $10,000 into $100,000. Maybe I should do 100K to 1 mil. It's the same 10x, but that could be, maybe there's more at stake. But let me know what you guys think. Andy 2000. Andy 2055. I just longed rave. It will dump shortly. You have been informed. That's funny. Taking one for the team. Taking one for the team. Hey, David. Nice to see you as well. Weakness on Rave, Justin, I just saw your question now, would be if we start to get like 4-hour candle closes below a previous high, or 1-hour candle closes. I just, with these kinds of assets that are just skyrocketing, it's very risky to go on the lower time frames. You can do it for like a sniper scalp short entry, and then maybe you get lucky and that's the top and it just dumps, but very rarely is it. What typically happens is people feel like they have the top, and then because it's like a scam token, it just flies past. So that's why if you're playing the lower time frames, you want to make sure that you have a tight stop loss. And if you get favorable price action, stops to break even. Again, not financial advice, just sharing with you what I would do on the lower time frames. But I would more look for like a 1-hour high and then a close below that 1-hour high as confirmation, stops above the high, favorable price action, moving stop loss to break even. And then rinsing and repeating until inevitably the high is caught. But right now, I still think it could run higher. Matt, how do DEX platforms work for trading? So basically how it works is it's self-custody. So you have, for example, a MetaMask wallet, and you have funds in your MetaMask wallet, and you can connect it to the decentralized exchange or decentralized platform, like Velto, for example, down below here. And it basically lets you use, without sounding stupid, it lets you use your funds to trade. So when you're on an exchange like Bluffin, you deposit your funds, but technically if the exchange were to go belly up, then and something were to happen, then your funds could be stuck on that exchange. Versus when you're on a decentralized platform, you're using your own capital. It's not getting deposited into anywhere, but it's connected through MetaMask or any other platform like that. So it's to each their own. For me, I have a very good relationship with Bluffin. I like them. You guys know I've been trading on there for quite some time now. I also really like 2bit, and I only really promote the exchanges that I personally have been using. So the ones that you hear me talk about more often, Velto, Bluffin, 2bit, and before it was Weeks because I was using it more. Those are the ones that I'm personally using. Mm. Cisco, if you want to trade on the same exchange as I am, because a lot of people have been asking, like, okay, I want to join your group and I want to trade on the exact same exchange. Just join Bluffin. If you can't, 2bit is good, Velto is good, Weeks is good. You have all of the links in the description down below. All down here. BTCC is also a solid one. Pay attention to the candles. Pay attention to the candles. But Sailor is buying like a madman. $5,000 Bitcoins. Has creating content opened up opportunities for you, like more connections? Yes. I mean, I produce content outside of crypto as well, and I'm gonna start maybe being a little bit more public about it. But like self-development stuff like that, completely unrelated. That has been better in terms of making connections. I'm pretty content with where I am in the crypto space. Yeah, it hasn't opened up too many more opportunities, to be honest. Like, it's just about visibility, right? The bigger the audience size, the more impact I can make, the more positive impact I can make. And that's what I'm going for. So that's why I keep posting on YouTube 6 out of 7 days of the week. And I've just been pretty consistent. And when the bull market comes back, and I do think it will come back, I will be probably doing like even more content. I'll be pushing myself to the boundaries of what is possible. I just want to be rich. Is that a problem? No, it's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be rich. That's why I started trading. I think it's, if you can control your emotions and you're a pretty level-headed person, it's trading is a great tool. Yeah, must be down. Must be nice to be down billions and still buy. Guys, I'm reading the comments of some of you that are shorting Rave. Please take risk management seriously. I was in the same boat as some of you shorting some of these shit coins. And can this be the top? Sure, maybe. However, what usually happens is we get a massive wick to the downside and then we immediately make a new high. So please be careful. That's my non-financial advice. Please be careful. I have it down here, like I'm looking at my phone, and now the wick is looking like it's getting created. Be careful. Be careful. You said self-development. Does that mean you meditate? I do from time to time. But it's much more than just meditating. I wasn't here right from the beginning. Are you going to add to your short if we pump? Probably not. I'm already using a good amount of capital on my short. My average entry is $80,000. I don't really need to reduce that more. Exactly, Justin Todd. I think people are fed up with the market overall, and they're going to look for good shorting opportunities. And again, I pointed this out in my community because it is a good shorting opportunity. It will be. But I just think that, can it be over? Can we dump from here? Yeah, sure. But I think that we might get another big move to the upside. What's another extra billion in market cap, right? When did you make your first million? I'm not going to talk about how much capital I have, but I'm doing well for myself. Nobody is buying Rave here, so it'd have to be major manipulation. Yeah, but we get these kinds of things with these shit coins. Believe me, I've been there. I've gone wrecked. It's not fun. Tau ain't pumping though. Guys, I think Tau is going to go lower. I mean, I wouldn't personally enter a short here, but you could see my entry 323.12. Yeah, looking really, really nice. Like when Bitcoin was rolling over just a little bit, Tau was really struggling. So if Bitcoin does come back down to below 70K, Tau is going to just capitulate, in my opinion. What's up, brother? From Texas, USA. Awesome, man. Tau is going back under 200. I think it's possible. I really do. But again, this is not a good zone to be shorting Tau. Like, that's just silly. We've already dumped significantly. The FUD is already played out. I'm just holding my existing trade. How long did it take for you to make a good lump of money in crypto? Well, I started in crypto in 2017. So I would say a good lump of money. This cycle, like this bull market cycle, was like where I was like, okay, awesome. Because I had been wrecked before and I ended up buying a significant amount of spot when Bitcoin was sub $30,000. So this cycle. And now in the bear market, it's just been great. I've maybe made more money in the bear market than I did in the bull. Look, Rave is pumping now. Or almost. I don't know if I'll take another Bitcoin short. I'd have to see. Like right now, this is... price still looks okay. Now, if we start to get 4-hour closes above this wick, same thing applies. That signals strength on Bitcoin. I always kind of laugh sometimes with some of the people that will say something like, does Bitcoin dump from here? Guys, if I knew exactly what was going to happen at every second, I would be a trillionaire. But no one does. I just play the probabilities, and that's something that I think a lot of people need to accept when it comes to trading. It's a game of probabilities. And until you accept that, it's highly likely that you won't be successful in trading. Understand that it's all probabilities. I wish I could tell you with a straight answer. Yep, Bitcoin is going to pump, or yep, Bitcoin is going to dump. But you're just playing the price action. Leverage is irrelevant. Sulex. Sorry, my man. I just because you popped in and I saw it, and I feel like a lot of people might do that kind of stuff where they expect someone like an influencer or a trader to know exactly if Bitcoin's just going to dump from here. Anyways, I'm just keeping it real. I'm a gazillionaire. Join my Whoop for 99 a month. Yeah, exactly. Just reading some of your comments. What do you think will happen with Trump blockade? I have no clue. I will never shy away from telling you guys that I have no clue about that kind of stuff. Like, I just trade the market. Boring, I know, but the markets are relatively optimistic, I would say. Stock market is, approaching all-time highs. We're currently above the bull market support band, and it seems like they're pricing in that this is just another Trump taco event where he chickens out, and basically markets will continue pricing this in until we get the dump, which I still firmly believe will happen. Market is dog shit. Better of launching shit coin. No, Gerard Soriano, 5057. Yeah, I mean, it is an institutional cycle. Retail got wrecked, and they're not super present. We covered this in some of my videos. Like, Retail's not here. Google Trends are down for Bitcoin and crypto. Like, no one cares. No one cares. So if you guys are still here, I do firmly believe that you will succeed. If not in this cycle, shorting on the way down, then in the next bull market cycle. You just got to stay up to date with everything. All right, legends. If you want access to what I'm doing in the market day by day, my trades, you do have the first link in my description down below. If you DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, you'll be able to join my private group. And there you'll find all my affiliate exchange links. You sign up, you start trading on there as you normally do, and you can join that group where I share all of my own trades before I come on the YouTube channel. And on that note, right now, we've been live for just over 2 hours, and Bitcoin is currently flirting with its previous local highs. I'm going to cut it there. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to rest up. You'll have a new video update tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. As always, smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.